So today is April 9th, 2020. We are in what I believe is day 23 of COVID-19. So today is going to be a little different. We're going to just talk about a few things, real estate, a few things about SBA loans, and just wish everybody well and safe. So let's start with SBA loans. There is a rollout. You have a lot of different options. There's grants, there's loans, there's disaster relief, there's paycheck protection. The best thing that I can tell you is to go to sba.gov and check out all your options. Now, some of these things will need to go through your bank, but your bank is probably not open and they're probably not going to talk to you. So what they will do is accept your application online. But there's other things that you really should look at sba.gov, because there are programs that will allow you to get grants and advances even up to $10,000. So please check that out. It's an ongoing fluid situation. What I do want to point out though is that if you are getting a paycheck protection loan and you are going to be having it forgiven because you are going to be using it for expenses that are allowed to be for it to be used for, you are going to want to set up a separate checking account. And this is done for the main reason of making sure that you can prove when you need to that you use the money for the intended purposes. And this can be a little tricky because one of the intended purposes is interest on a mortgage or interest on debt. Now notice it's not on the principal portion of it. So the checking account that you set up, you would pay the interest, and your main checking account for your business, then you would pay the principal. So that's just my tip for today on that, to help you through this process to make sure that you use the money that you're borrowed from the government for its intended purposes. It will make it a lot easier when you need to go prove that you did indeed use it for that purpose. So real estate wise, what we've got going right now is a little bit of chaos. I just had another property fall out of escrow this last week, and it was for the reason that the seller, I represented the buyer, but the seller didn't want to move for 2 months. And so this brings up the question, do you really want to show your buyers properties that have somebody living in them? And for this particular buyer now, we are not showing any properties that have occupants that would need to move in order for the deal to close. It's just the sign of the times, and you don't want to risk having your escrow fall out on the day of close of escrow. I know this is harder for those people that do own homes and they live in those homes. And perhaps, unless you absolutely need to sell right now, this might be a time to take a temp off market and listen to what your realtor said about any objections. Maybe this is a time to remodel the kitchen or remodel the bathroom or repaint something. So there's a lot of things that right now, if you had your home on the market and you are actually living in it, that you might want to do some things to improve the value and the sale ability of it. Now, sometimes things that you do really only increase the saleability, and if you've been on the market for quite a while, you know what I'm talking about. So talk to your real estate agent before you take it temp off market, but see if there's things that you can do while you have it temp off market so that when you go back on, you are ready to get an offer. With regard to buyers, again, they're still out there. They are serious buyers, which is really nice. In addition to that, if there is an occupant, a lot of times those sellers require that you have an offer already accepted before they'll show you the property. Again, another reason why it might be better to use a vacant property as your next buyer's home. Now, if you have not sold your home or listed your home and you have a vacant property, you are on a gold mine right now. So I would recommend that if you have taken your property up to the market and it is just sitting there and it is vacant, that you really truly consider selling it. And it really doesn't matter what shape it's in. A lot of buyers are willing to take on a remodel right now. So these are my tips for today, and wishing everyone health above all, and we'll all get through this together. Take care.